Have you ever poured your heart and soul into something only to have it snatched away by someone who didn't deserve it? That's what happened to me. I saved my family's hotel from the brink of collapse, but they handed the keys and the title of CEO to my brother, Ryan. My name is Claire Anderson, and this is my story. A raw, unfiltered journey of how I turned betrayal into triumph, how I built something extraordinary out of the ashes of rejection. Stick with me, because this isn't just about revenge, it's about finding yourself when the people you love most let you down. Let me take you back to where it all began. I'm 52 now, but I can still see myself as that little girl, barely 8 years old, standing behind the front desk of the Mountain Pine Lodge. The hotel was my world. My grandparents built it in 1971, carving out a little piece of Colorado paradise with their bare hands. I grew up in those halls, wide-eyed, watching guests check in, learning how to fold napkins into perfect swans, or trailing my dad as he fixed a leaky pipe with a rusty wrench. The smell of pine wood and the faint hum of chatter in the lobby. It was my second home, my sanctuary. I'd perch on a stool, too small to reach the counter, mimicking my mom as she greeted guests with that warm smile of hers. I wasn't just playing, I was training for the future I dreamed of, the day I'd run this place myself. But then there was Ryan, my younger brother by 3 years. While I was soaking up every detail of the hotel, he was off in his own world, skateboarding in the parking lot, playing video games in the staff room, or just disappearing for hours. He didn't care about the business. To him, the Mountain Pine Lodge was just a backdrop for his carefree life. And yet, my parents adored him. "He's just creative," they'd say with a shrug when he flunked another class or quit another job. "He'll figure it out." Meanwhile, I was the one grinding away. Straight A's, scholarships, a degree in hospitality management. I moved to Chicago and climbed the ladder, from front desk manager to regional director at a major hotel chain. Every milestone I hit, every promotion, every award, I'd call home, hoping for a real reaction. But all I'd get was, "That's nice, dear. When are you coming home?" Or, "Have you thought about settling down?" It was like my achievements were just noise to them, a faint echo compared to Ryan's golden glow. Fast forward to 8 months ago. I was living my life in Chicago, successful, independent, proud of what I'd built. Then my dad called, his voice trembling on the other end of the line. "Claire, we're in trouble. The hotel's weeks away from bankruptcy. We need you." My heart sank. The Mountain Pine Lodge wasn't just a business. It was our family's legacy, my childhood, my roots. I didn't even hesitate. I sold my condo, cashed in my savings, and packed up my life to head back to Colorado. When I walked into that lobby for the first time in years, it was like stepping into a time capsule. Dated decor, faded curtains, a musty smell clinging to the air. The online reviews were brutal. "Stuck in the past, not worth the price, needs a miracle." It broke my heart to see it crumbling, but I knew I could fix it. I had the experience, the skills, the vision. This was my chance to save something I loved and maybe, just maybe, prove to my family what I was worth. So I got to work. Day and night, I threw myself into turning the Mountain Pine Lodge around. I modernized the reservation system, ripping out the clunky old software that crashed every other day. I replaced the threadbare carpets with sleek hardwood, hung locally sourced artwork on the walls, and gave the lobby a facelift with mountain-inspired decor. Think cozy fireplaces, warm lighting, the kind of vibe that makes you want to curl up with a cup of coffee and never leave. I spent hours hunched over spreadsheets, pinching every penny to stretch our budget. I negotiated with suppliers until my voice was hoarse, securing better deals on linens, toiletries, everything we needed to level up. I trained the staff myself, teaching them how to anticipate a guest's needs before they even asked, how to turn a check-in into a welcome home. I even redesigned the breakfast menu, sourcing fresh eggs and honey from local farms to give our guests a taste of Colorado they'd never forget. And it worked. God, it worked. The transformation was like night and day. Guests started leaving reviews that made my chest swell with pride. 5 stars. Best stay in years. The attention to detail is incredible. This place feels like a hidden gem. Our bookings doubled, then tripled. For the first time in years, we were in the black, pulling in profits instead of drowning in debt. I'd lie awake at night, exhausted but buzzing with excitement, thinking, this is it. They'll see it now. They'll see me. I even pulled strings with my old industry contacts, getting us featured in travel magazines. The Mountain Pine Lodge wasn't just surviving, it was the talk of the town, a comeback story for the ages. But then came the staff meeting I'll never forget. I'd prepared a presentation, charts, graphs, glowing reviews, ready to show everyone the record-breaking quarter we'd just had. I was nervous but proud, rehearsing my lines in my head as I walked into the lobby I'd poured my soul into. The staff was gathered, buzzing with chatter, and I caught Sarah, our head housekeeper of 20 years, giving me a quiet nod of encouragement. She knew what I'd done. She'd seen me scrubbing floors beside her at 2 a.m. when we were short-staffed. I took a deep breath, ready to step up, when my mom waved me over with that casual flick of her hand she always used. "Claire, honey," she said, her tone so light it stung. "We've got an announcement." My dad stood beside her, avoiding my eyes, and Ryan sauntered in, hands in his pockets, that smug grin plastered across his face. "What do you mean Ryan will be CEO?" I blurted out, my voice bouncing off the walls I'd spent months perfecting. "I'm the one who saved this hotel." Mom's response hit me like a slap. "Claire, your brother has more natural leadership ability. You're too detail-oriented," she said, like she was explaining why I couldn't have a second cookie. Too detail-oriented? The words burned in my throat. Every spreadsheet, every late night, every guest smile I'd earned, it was all details to her. Ryan smirked, stepping closer. "Hey, sis, don't take it personally. Someone's got to handle the day-to-day stuff while I focus on the big picture." The big picture? He didn't even know what a P&L statement was. I stood there, frozen, feeling the eyes of the staff on me. Sarah, Maria, the front desk crew, all of them knowing the truth, all of them forced to clap for this farce. That's when it hit me. No matter what I did, it would never be enough for them. The next few weeks were torture. Ryan took over like a kid playing king, strutting around in his new title while I watched everything I'd built start to fray. He slashed the continental breakfast, our guests' favorite perk, because it's too expensive, he said, brushing off the satisfaction data I shoved under his nose. "Numbers aren't everything, sis," he laughed like it was a game. Then he tried to fire Maria, our head housekeeper, because she wouldn't bend to his half-baked scheduling system, a mess that would have left us scrambling during peak hours. I stepped in, pleading her case, and saved her job. But the look on her face, humiliation mixed with gratitude, cut me deeper than anything Ryan had said. I tried reasoning with my parents, showing them the guest reviews, the financials, the proof of what I'd done. Dad just stared at his coffee, muttering something about family unity, while Mom patted my hand. "Dear, give Ryan time to find his footing. He has such wonderful ideas." Wonderful ideas! He was tanking the place I'd saved, and they were blind to it. I'd drive home every night, my hands gripping the wheel, replaying their words in my head. Too detail-oriented. Natural leadership. It wasn't just about the hotel anymore. It was about me, about years of being overlooked, dismissed, undervalued. I'd spent my life trying to prove myself to them, every report card, every promotion, every sacrifice, and they'd chosen Ryan, the guy who'd never even tried. I felt small, invisible, like all my hard work was just a footnote in their story of him. But then, one evening, everything changed. I was driving home, the sun dipping below the mountains, when I saw it. A for sale sign on the old Riverside Lodge, our former competitor. It was run down, neglected, but I could see it. Better views than our hotel, closer to the ski slopes, space for a killer spa. I pulled into the empty parking lot and sat there, staring at that sign, my mind racing. I thought about every time my parents had brushed me off. Every lukewarm that's nice while they fawned over Ryan's half-baked schemes. Every night I'd spent saving their hotel while he partied in Denver. Something inside me broke. Or maybe it finally woke up. I didn't have to keep fighting for their scraps. I could build something new, something mine. I grabbed my phone and called my realtor right there, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. "I want to see it tomorrow," I said. The owners were desperate to sell, and with my savings and credit, I could swing it. By the time I drove home, I wasn't just tired. I was electric. I wouldn't have to watch Ryan ruin what I'd saved. I'd show them what I could do when I wasn't held back. The next few months were a blur of grit and hope. I threw myself into the Riverside Lodge, renaming it the Summit. A little obvious, sure, but it fit. I wanted to climb higher than they'd ever let me. While Ryan was busy throwing parties at Mountain Pine Lodge, I was knee-deep in blueprints, meeting with contractors, picking out finishes. I'd stay up late sketching ideas, eco-friendly lighting, a farm-to-table restaurant, a spa that'd make guests melt. I hired a team of pros, people who believed in my vision, not my family's name. Word spread fast. Some folks in town whispered I was spiteful, turning against my own blood. But others, especially the staff who'd worked with me, cheered me on quietly. My parents tried guilt-tripping me at family dinners. "How could you do this to Ryan? To us?" Mom would sigh, her voice dripping with disappointment. I'd just smile and sip my water. They didn't get it. This wasn't about them anymore. The summit's grand opening was 6 months after that awful staff meeting, and it was magic. The lobby buzzed with life, guests sipping wine, the local paper snapping photos, my team beaming with pride. I'd walk through the space, running my fingers over the sleek counters I'd designed, breathing in the scent of fresh flowers and mountain air. Then I saw them, Mom, Dad, and Ryan, standing by the entrance. Mom's smile was tight, like she was trying not to crack. Dad's eyes were wide, taking it all in. Ryan's jaw was clenched, his hands stuffed in his pockets. They hadn't expected this. "You're trying to destroy us," Ryan hissed later, cornering me by the bar. "This is an attack on our family." I looked him in the eye, calm as ever. "No, Ryan, this is me succeeding despite our family." He stormed off and I let him go. The contrast hit hard after that. Mountain Pine Lodge started slipping. Reviews tanked with complaints about dirty rooms, broken AC, rude staff. Ryan's leadership was a disaster. 3 longtime employees quit in his first month, fed up with his chaos. They had to slash rates just to fill beds. Meanwhile, the summit soared. Guests raved about our green initiatives, our food, our vibe. Other hotels copied our booking system and I got offers to consult. It wasn't easy. Vendors hesitated to work with me after Mom flexed her small-town clout, and old friends stopped calling. But I pivoted, found new suppliers, built my own network. When my parents showed up at my office one day begging me to save their hotel again, I didn't flinch. "We're family, Claire," Mom pleaded. "You can't let it fail." I leaned back in my chair, the one I'd earned. "I offered to help 8 months ago. You chose Ryan. Now you live with it." They left, stunned, and I felt free. The real payoff came at the Colorado Luxury Hotels Awards. The summit was up for Best New Boutique Hotel, and the room was electric. Industry folks, reporters, my team all around me. Mountain Pine Lodge didn't even make the list. When they called my name, the applause hit me like a wave. I walked to the stage, award in hand, and spotted my parents in the back, uninvited, unannounced. Mom's eyes were wet, Dad's face heavy with something like regret. Ryan wasn't there. He'd ditched these events long ago. In my speech, I thanked my team, my guests, and gave a nod to Mountain Pine Lodge, where I first fell in love with hospitality. The crowd shifted, catching the edge in my voice. Later, a magazine editor interviewed me, my parents hovering close enough to hear. "Sometimes the best success stories come from being underestimated," I said, loud and clear. The article that followed named the summit the best in the Rockies and called out Mountain Pine Lodge as a cautionary tale. The town buzzed, and for once the whispers weren't against me. Looking back, it's bittersweet. Part of me still aches for the family I wanted them to be, the ones who'd see me, really see me. But the bigger part feels alive. I walk into the summit every day, watching guests laugh, my staff thrive, the sunlight streaming through windows I chose. It's everything I dreamed the family hotel could be, but better, because it's mine. My team's my family now. Sarah, Maria, the others who left Ryan's mess to build this with me, they get it. This wasn't revenge. It was redemption. 3 weeks after the awards, my parents invited me to dinner. "We're proud of you," Dad said, awkward and quiet. "The summit's remarkable," Mom added. Then the ask, "Ryan's in over his head. Can you help?" I didn't bite. "I gave you my all a year ago," I told them. "You picked him. I can't fix this for you." They didn't argue, and driving home, I felt lighter than ever. I'd stopped chasing their approval and found my own. So, if this story hit you, whether it's the sting of betrayal or the fire of proving yourself, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with someone who gets it, and subscribe if you're not already. Your support keeps me going. And if you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or told you're too much of something, drop a comment below. Tell me your story. I'm here for it. Let's keep this conversation alive because we're stronger than they think.